Like you see, like you're saying that.
Take off.
Spirit boxes. Let's talk to dead people. That's why you guys showed up.
What?
Yeah, you guys know what these are. So, like, damn it, you didn't get me a spirit box. Spirit boxes, if you're not familiar with them, it's the white noise on your TV shows, and then Zach Bagans puts up the bullshit in the middle of the screen trying to convince you of the same thing. We're going to be doing that in real time. However, finding a disembodied voice, it's a rarity, guys. Honest, I promise you. I get about 12 to 15 of those a year, not an episode. You guys are starting to see the pattern here, I hope. These are going to be set up with beginner methods. There's going to be a communication device in every one of your parties. What I mean by that is there's going to be some type of communication, honestly. Like, that's a big deal to me. That's where it all comes from. So, with this one, they're slowed down on purpose. The listeners to a spirit box are going to hear the radio chatter coming through. What does that mean? You're going to hear song lyrics, DJs, commercials. That's what I want you to hear. The reason why, it's a 50-50 shot. We can tie it to our location, the ghost we're hunting down, or a ghost you guys brought with you. That's how this goes. This one in particular is recording. Kimberly's going to be the only one to hear this in real time. I'll be writing down whatever she hears in real time, but I will also spot check this for you, and you also get her recording. You can mess with the volume as much as you want, darling. It is not going to mess up the recording. It's to your comfort level. So it's not like it has to be set a certain way. Most people turn it down when I'm covering the history of the space, and then when I say let's get to work, you crank it up. And then you're just going to have diarrhea of the mouth. Like you're just going to be spouting stuff off. Again, all the funny little song lyrics you hear, if somebody's trying to sell you a Toyota, I want to know somebody's trying to sell you a Toyota. The reason why, we might be next to the building where somebody lived that made a part for a Toyota. There's a tie there. We just don't know what the rest of it looks like. Okay, your volume is right here.
It looks like it's recording.
Turn it all the way up. I'm going to turn it all the way down so you don't get blasted in the ear.
I didn't do anything.
And you're going to control your own noise. It's already recording. We are going to use two of these. This one's not going to record. Reason why, if I give you guys 5 hours of white noise and radio chatter, I am pretty sure that Lee's going to hunt me down and kill me. Like, again, that's a lot to go through. So, this one is going to go to Landon. So, Landon, I'm going to be relying on you to put everything in my notes. So, again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just tell me all the silly things. So, let me get you plugged in and get it sweeping. And, again, yours is going to be part of just the notes. There's not going to be a recording of it. Again, your volume is going to be right here. It's a wheel. So, it's right next to the power button. You just get it sweeping. And it's already turned all the way down. So, you do that to your comfort level. Next spirit box. Oh, I want to go with this one. I think I know where I'm going with this one. This one is a lot different than the other two I just handed out. If you're not familiar with this, you guys normally see like the little SB7s on your TV shows. You guys know what I'm talking about? The little black one with the ball speaker? Yeah, I hate that one. I have it, but I modified it. But this is the upgrade to that. So this is an SB11. What it's going to do is it's going to use both FM and AM frequencies at the same time, and it is going to attempt to take out the white noise that's coming in between the radio stations. The two people that are listening to this, I say two people because it is open speaker only. There's no headphones for personal use because that's the only way it works. If you put in headphones, it takes out the noise filter. But they're only going to hear about 15 to 20 words all night long. That's the beauty of this device. So with this one in particular, it is about 75% accurate. If I'm doing a private client home, this is usually what I have sitting in the middle of the table while I'm running everything else and just kind of letting it record and doing its own thing. So with this one, Drew, I'm going to let you guys use this so that way you guys can use it together. So kind of keep that in mind. The only thing you need to worry about is where the mute button is. The mute button is on the right-hand side. So I'm going to do a quick volume check and put it back on mute because we're going to be near horses soon. Okay. They don't like the little white noise that comes through. Okay. So I'm going to give you the heads up for muting it. Normally, if I'm speaking to the group as a whole, I'll ask you to mute. If you want to do it ahead of time, great. But it's only because I'm trained to listen to this, and I will lose track of where we are. Perfect. That's exactly where we want it to be. Only button on the right-hand side is your mute. Thank you. You got it. Let's see. Next communication device. This one. You guys seen the obelisk on the TV shows? You guys know what I'm talking about? Obelisk, I hate that device too. Let me explain why. She's like, what the hell's going on with this guy? So an obelisk basically has pre-programmed 2,000 spooky terms in it. I'm not a big fan of just having 2,000 spooky terms. Again, that's the way it's designed, not a whole lot in there. I actually use a word generator app, believe it or not. The word generator app has over 9,000 words in it, and they're not all spooky terms. So again, it is a nice big grab bag, and it's about 20% supplemental to what's being heard on all the other spirit boxes. That's what I love about this guy. So with this one in particular, it also saves everything to a list with timestamps. I'll know exactly where we are based off of our route, plus my spot check of, who's got the other one? So Kimberly's device. So that way I can see if anything matches up. I'm going to clear out last night. They had about 115 terms show up out of this. That's quite a bit. So I am actually going to hand this one off to Jeannie. So Jeannie, this one's going to go to you. I don't want to see every word that pops up. I will come to you or ask you to read us off the last 4 or 5 terms at a time. If you show me as they come up, we're going to be out here till 4 in the morning. Again, there's a lot. This device was just invented about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years now. Some of you may recognize it. It's called an Envoy, but in essence, it's a digital Ouija board. So what it's going to do is it's going to use EMF around us. Anytime there's an EMF spike, it's going to drop the cursor of whatever letter it falls on into another row. So Jasmine, you're going to be telling us what's being spelled out in the bottom row. It could be an anagram, initials of the ghost we're hunting down, or a word being spelled out for us. You and I are going to talk a lot more about this because you're the only one that needs a little bit more operational training, so that way you can actually get good positive readings. So a lot of people freak out the minute I say Ouija board. You guys did a great job on that one. Kudos to you. So a lot of people really freak out on that one. So we are in between 2 electrical poles right now, so I'm scaling it back because again, it's based off of electricity. Alright, EMF readers. You guys normally see these on your TV shows, am I correct? Yeah, we're not using this guy. The reason why is it doesn't go high enough for the spaces we're going. A lot of people that are just starting off with, trying to buy equipment, this is the first thing they buy because it's the cheapest piece of equipment they can find. You can actually get a better EMF reader on your phone apps, believe it or not. This does not go very high at all. So we're going to put this guy away. I usually bring it just for the example, or unless I have a little tiny Ghostbuster that shows up. All he has to do is tell me what colors he sees. Super easy to do. We're going to be using millimeters instead. Millimeters are going to do the exact same thing, but give it to us in a digital format, and it goes 8 times higher than the device I just put away. So way more accurate. So with this one, I actually have 2 of them. I'll be handing them out. So obviously Lee's going to get one, and then Monica is going to get one. And I think that'll balance everybody else that has equipment. You guys are going to be looking for 2.5 and higher when we enter a space. Once you get something above that, that'll be your new baseline for that space. So if you get a 5 after that, don't give me anything below a 5. I write all these numbers down. We all don't want a whole notebook full of numbers for me to type out, right? So if it goes back and forth, we don't care. We want to just keep it growing up. So the first one's going to go off to you. That's your big number is 2.5. And just so you guys know what the bottom number is, that is ambient temperature. So in the event that Glenn finds something on his camera, we will be able to prove it or debunk it in real time. So that's what the little yellow probe is at the top. So it's also going to remind you guys of how hot it is out here. I should say about 83 or 84 degrees right now, I'm guessing.
Really?
Yep.
84.7.
Yep. I figured. All right.
So 92 with humidity.
Yeah, pretty much. And thank you for making the bag lighter. Again, you guys are holding about 30 pounds of gear right now.
Hey Nick,
Yeah.
is this supposed to be recording?
No.
The whole time I didn't do anything, but...
Pinckney Mansion. So here's how this goes down. Their mansion sat in the front of this space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with first the Five Church restaurant, came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That's the layout of the lane. Who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for those secondary clues. I need to know which one's coming through in the event that somebody hears the name Charles. Hopefully we're getting a secondary clue from somewhere else, so I know how to address them. The son and the nephew, signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for South Carolina. I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on. If I don't give the gentleman their recognition, they will do it for me in a nasty manner through a spirit box. I just make sure I give it to them, we move on. We're going to be discussing Eliza instead. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial times that she came from when young ladies got married at the ages of 12 and 14. I say that because her husband was over double her age when they married. It's kind of a creepy age gap back then, it's a creepy age gap now. I'm just giving you guys subtle clues if you guys get the point. Now, she married him because her father was over in England. Dad thinks he's dying over there. He wants to bring all of his kids home one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put. Got married right here in 1744. You don't get married in that particular year to get a green card. We're not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. Like, this is a true love story. There is nothing horrific about this location, just so you guys know. If anything, it's a place of respect. But anyway, she was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. That's how we use it today. However, when she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She actually had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. It's not always hot here. And then she learned how to make the dye from them, moved it to a cash crop, and got a hold of Dad overseas and told him the rice plantation prices are going downhill. We got the indigo up and running. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of, right before we're a country. So, that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are here. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to kind of go through all of the different communication devices, give you guys a set of focus questions, and we're going to spread out. I'll do a couple of round robins to see what's going on with your devices, take plenty of notes, and then bring us all back to show you how it all tied together and give you all of the answers to all of the questions that I'm about to hand out. Again, remember, I'm withholding things. Tell me all of the silly things that you're hearing on your spirit boxes to see if I can see this. This is not even supposed to be on, but this thing gets tossed around my bag all the time, so I try to shut it off. But every time you get a full row at the bottom and you can't make anything out of it, it's going to start rewriting the letters over top of the old ones. And we don't want to do that. If it says fast and you get an L over the F, now we have lax.
Did the mansion burn down?
You're going to take the green dial and you're going to turn it counterclockwise and then go back up to 12 o'clock and you'll get a nice fresh run and it'll be empty. So you're going to do that every single time. You're going to be doing that all night long. In between spaces, I'll ask you to turn back this about a quarter turn so the electrical or the parking meters actually give off electricity from the sidewalk. Right.
Was it kids in the mansion and the people down?
So I just say turn it back about a quarter of a turn. We're kind of see if we can get a few letters out of it in between spaces. But we'll see what we can get out. Some nights I get zero. Other nights I have like 20 turns. I never know what it's going to get. The longest thing I've seen spell out so far in order correct way was the word T. It didn't mean anything to that particular location, but you can spell the same word. It would take a few times to go through the cycle to spell out the word T. So that's interesting for like here. But yeah, I need to take a little box of the fence. Right. Plate that tell the company that makes it.
Right.
So, but anyway.
We don't want to.
I know, right? Well, no, it's more like this tap feature.
Oh.
And I've had to replace this dial 3 times.
Oh.
All it is like a guitar amp dial, so I just bought a whole package. And I changed it to green. I think theirs was red, but green is the color of my logo, so it just makes sense. If I put green, it's better on that guy. But with your camera, you're more of a debunker, just so you have an idea. So when you do find things, like what you just did with me and the hole and all that stuff, like I'm teaching you to look at things in a bunch of different ways. Am I going to spot check that? I sure am. For everything that you record, I watch 1 minute for every 5. And I watch it in fast forward, so that way I can actually see how they're dancing and if it's moving in a different fashion. So are they truly dancing and moving around? Did she ask for somebody to raise a certain hand? That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. But again, with that one, I've had 4 to 6 like stamps of approval, and it was like interaction with state.
Were the children asleep when the house turned down?
batteries too. So like right up by the car, it's like 23 right there. Well, yeah. It's like 20 something right there. And that one. They said put some car batteries.
Yeah.
Huh?
So.
That's why I told her, I was buying a car, it was like 23 something.
That's your new baseline. So don't give me anything below that 23. And then obviously you're
23.1.
20.9 and yours is 23.
Yeah.
So don't give me anything below that. Don't give me anything below your 20.9. So just keep it escalating and try to see if we can get out of it. Kimberly, have you heard anything out of there yet?
Hey, have you heard anything?
Have you heard anything? So it's not an easy job. Remember, if you hear a song lyric or a DJ talking, tell me what the DJ is talking about. If you can make it out. Again, it's the silly thing you're going to come up with that you don't know that it means. So again, you recognize the song, you hear Purple Rain, tell me that you heard Purple Rain. Make sense? Alright, so make sure you kind of got this.
It says Holy City.
Drew, what do you got so far?
3-1.
Nothing on that on top of my head?
No, just across America.
Okay.
Not a separate harbors.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to hear nearly as much as the other two.
Right, right.
So, who's got me on the spirit box? Steven Landon on there. Cover. Fake. Was no recover. Just so you know, with your camera and the one that I handed over to Glenn, they're very small. I send your videos over to YouTube. If I'm not following up with your guys' 2 cameras, it's because I'm waiting so I can watch the whole thing as a whole. If you see something in there, obviously let us know. But I'm usually about the communication devices when we're out in real time. When I'm back at the office, this is where my focus goes.
Okay.
So just so you don't think I'm ignoring you.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
Okay.
So I asked how did you die? I heard afternoon 3.
He just had 3 lunch store. I don't know what time of day he died. I don't think I
God.
Here's my last point. I was searching for you. Hiding in the darkness. You did. Word list. Where are we at on yours, Jeannie? What do you got? Anything?
Selfie. All right. Shop.
Anything before that?
Selfie. That's funny.
My work gate, Southern Sky.
Gate is relevant. Actually, where they were standing is the gate. So they're like, go to the gate. So again, I like the word gate. I usually tell why the gate is there. All right, let's move down. Let's do our spot back.
Okay.
Somebody picks the darkest areas.
He does.
You have to ask him like 10 minutes. Where's Drew? Where's Drew? All right.
He'll disappear.
Let's kind of talk about what's going on here. Remember, you guys are looking for an 8 or above. So, Landon, nothing else came out of yours? I'm sorry.
I got the name Chris.
No, but I was definitely write it down because you heard it. Jazz, do you have anything going on back there, by the way?
No.
Okay, so do a hard reset, and you're going to be looking for the letters RI specifically for initials in that order, just like the ELP from before.
I got 14 days.
14 days of Chris. I'll write this down. Let's let this group pass through. Back over to this location. So, talk about why we're here. We're inside Philadelphia Alley. I'm going to do my best to breeze through this location because it is always the warmest down here. So let's kind of go through this. By the way, if you have a camera, by all means get them started. If you haven't and you want to get a shot going one way or the other down the alley, just the way Amy's doing, so that way you don't just have our tight little circle, because the entire time that we're going to be here, we're going to be in a big circle just like this. Another tourist comes through here, obviously just point the camera straight downward. We'll all understand, especially with yours, Kylie, because you look like a crazy photographer.
Yep.
Now, Philadelphia Alley used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So, I say some of the duels because dueling was illegal and they find hiding spots. This should happen to be one of them. So, every ghost tour comes down here and tells the exact same story. I'm going to tell the same story with a few extra details because you're ghost hunting. You're not on a campfire and choosing marshmallow ghost hunting. Let's get into it. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. So, she's picking up on the angles of all of the brush on the right-hand side. I can already see it. So, a doctor moves here from Rhode Island, which is exactly why Jazz is looking for RI, Rhode Island. So, it's going to make more sense when I get even further into the story. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that the two spirit box that are listening in, so that'd be Kimberly and Landon. If you guys hear the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it's not coincidence. We get it all the time because it's part of the doctor's name. So, I get it all the time. Moving on. Dr. Ladd moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents. She's an attorney, helping her out with all of this cash flow that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. He's going to make his own. He's going to start his medical practice down here. On his way into town, he was set up by his coachman to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world, right? So somebody was walking by and knew the coachman and knew what was about to happen to this newcomer, and his name was Ralph Isaacs. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, it's super warm down here, I'm sorry. And I try to breeze through it. Actually, if you stand over here, there's a little bit of a breeze that might help you out a little bit. So Ralph Isaacs, obviously the same initials. We've actually, this is the reason why Jazz has that device. I bought it for this location, just to see if we were going to get the letters RI, because I was already getting it from regular spirit boxes like what Kimberly's using. Moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them. You'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer. two gentlemen became friends, and the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money, he's making his own. She's moving down so they could be married, and Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate the story. It's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you will ever visit will have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. He just happens to be a doctor here in Charleston. Why am I here in Dueler's Alley telling you this? Let's get into that. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So they go see Richard III one night, and on their way home, they're walking and arguing over the new actress that they just saw. Doc thought she was great. Ralph couldn't stand her. They start arguing, and Ralph is now insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island, and it got really ugly between the two of them. They separated. Ralph has friends around town. He goes to his friends at the newspaper and tells them to place an ad for him, telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. It's kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of shit. Doc saw the ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this and somebody's going to die. Just a reminder that this whole thing started over an actress. Pretty dumb argument. Anyway, the two gents came down back to back, took their 10 paces away from each other. They turn, Doc points his gun in the air and shoots. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage to show up, which is often what happens at a duel. But Ralph has his one bullet and his flintlock. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doc didn't die, he fell to the ground. His friends pick him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. I'm going to point out two things. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds, a lot different back then than what we know of them now. Secondly, he is a doctor. So he probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself. Now, the whole ghost story down here is that every tour will tell their guests to listen for the whistles. We have 3 cameras running, a crazy voice recorder, plus the one on my back. That's 5 devices. If we're going to capture a full disembodied whistle coming out of this location, it's going to be out of one of those pieces of equipment. However, on our red spirit boxes, I have caught, I can't tell you how many times, the whistling part of a song and then the word doctor immediately after from a commercial. Doctor, I get it all the time, and I'm not looking for it, it just happens. So again, take that for what it is. If you're going to try this on your own and walk all the way through here with the voice recorders from your phones, just remember that every local knows this damn story. Anybody walking up and down Queen Street or Cumberland, we all throw a whistle down this alley whenever we're walking by the alley. It's just something we do here. Drew is hopefully capturing some type of faint whistle in the background. I have a very faint something from last night doing this experiment here, but we had a lot of crickets down here too, so it's almost indiscernible at that point. Now, I will tell you, I've actually been kicked out of here. So there's a reason why we go around the corner this way and I don't continue to take you all the way down. Let me kind of explain that as this person actually walks through, so it's kind of split the seats.
So someone in their group whistling when they went by?
Probably. It happens every
Okay,
night.
I just heard that, so.
Yep, it happens every single night. You're welcome. With me being kicked out of here, let me explain that in the end. We'll get out of here, I promise. There used to be a wall up this way, halfway between us here at the gate and Cumberland Street. The reason why is because this was called Cow Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So cows, goats, and chickens are all running through here. Why am I telling you this? That means that the bricks down at the other side, that's where they started. So those are older than the ones we're standing on. Those bricks down there are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, and some fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups all the way through for a history lesson. We all need to see those bricks to show how far we've come from slavery. So, there's nothing paranormal about it. You guys already know how I feel about cemeteries. That kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. I took my group down there for a little lesson, and they all stopped and huddled around that brick, waiting for something to happen with their gear. I'm trying to shoo them along, because I know nothing's going to happen. We're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was just trying to be respectful. I didn't realize we were out of bounds for tours. My daughter thought it was hysterical because her father was getting yelled at. She was all about it. So we just moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I used to work in upper management for Walmart, and you all like to fight over cows on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. I will never work another Thanksgiving ever. So the next day, I called my partner. Sorry about that, Drew. That's probably going to seem loud in your ears. I called my partner that I had at the time. I told him what happened so I could figure out what to do next. He laughed at me just like my daughter did. He said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. You got to reroute your group tonight. What's Black Friday? I'm sold out again. What I told my group that night was I don't believe in the next story. And normally the next story is a pirate story. So I told them I'm into vampires, not pirates. But somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne before we left it. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. I was kind of like, okay, maybe we'll get something. I took them around the corner, told them what I did know about piracy. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. I didn't know what that meant. I wrote it down. I do the research. We were there November 28th of 1720. And Bonnie's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. The exact 300th anniversary of her piracy. So I normally did the, oh, that's pretty cool. I was actually pissed off. Master's degree in creative writing, guys. So again, anything that I do as far as research, I need facts and data, especially when I'm dealing with the paranormal. Otherwise, it's just folklore to me. So the problem with pirates is that all of the stories come from pirate lore, which was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy in the days of Blackbeard and Anne Bonny. That means I had to do a shit ton of research. I'm actually quite ticked off that I got kind of, it's on the location I investigate, Anne Bonny, is kind of on hold for tours. Like, it's technically where we're allowed to go, but technically not, based off of the city limits. So somebody's been monitoring it over the past couple of weeks, so I was like, oh, it's perfect. Now it's the anniversary of what goes on at the cemetery across the street. So when we go up and around across the street, obviously Kylie's camera is going to be major focus, but I'm going to want all 3 cameras focused on that area, and I'm going to give you guys the story ahead of time. Have we heard anything out of our spirit boxes before we leave this very, very warm area? Have you heard anything at all? Joseph. Yep, it was Joseph. Oh, all of the things that he heard earlier, remember the 3 things that I gave you? 22, 7, and are you a doctor? Obviously the doctor piece. The 7 is relevant because the doctor's birthday is July 7th, 7-7. We normally hear it in doubles. And he died at the age of 22. So again, the 22 could be relevant to Eliza. We didn't get anything else relevant to her marriage, but all 3 other clues kind of tie into like what I'm kind of like, hey, what the hell are you doing way over here? But he will follow us. I was going to take this out of my route, but he follows me at every location now. I don't normally see him over by the 15 mansion site. He normally starts when I'm here and then follows us around because of the places of raised emotion of where we're going to be that's relevant to Dr. Ladd. But he also for Chris, Joseph, and then 14 days. Right? 14 days. Okay, any other numbers that I need to know about EMF-wise? Jeannie, where we at with our words? Any of those last 3 words? Perfect. Alright, Drew, did you get any other whistles besides the craziness that happened? No. So go ahead and keep that on when we get around the corner. Once we exit the alley, I'll take it from you. I just want to keep it on for the entirety of this alley, just in case something pops up as we're walking away, and then we'll get you back on your spirit box mode. You guys all have this in the vortex, so I want to get you guys all out of here. Like Hallie's over there, anything crazy going on with the cameras that you guys saw in real time? Nothing. Is said that Andrew Jackson actually had a duel down there. There's no proof of it because obviously he was a president. They're going to hide that shit away so it's not bad press. So it's a rumor, but I'm not surprised. So you're kind of half right. I just can't prove it. So take that for its word. But yeah, let's get everybody out of here. It is super warm out here. Like, Jeannie's like ready to go. The cross grave in the back, the cross headstone. Sue's grave is just to the left of that, one more backwards. Believe it or not, we were probably closer to Sue Howard Hardy when we were in the alleyway versus over here. So just try to keep it as steady as possible, especially with yours, Kylie, because I'm going to watch them and fast forward. So if I see anything weird coming through on there, that's where I'm going to get excited about things. So Amy, with your camera, the more still you are, the less it's going to pick up all the subtleties, which is good. So that way if we do get a person running across the damn cemetery, we'll be able to capture it a lot better. So Monica and Lee, you're like right on point of where we actually caught it. So where we caught that 9 was right there at the corner where the cement goes up a little bit, right where Lee's at. So that's where we caught that 9. Again, it was like a 9.2. I was like super surprised by it, just because again I'm not used to monitoring this area, so I was just kind of surprised we had anything. So yeah, we'll just spend a few minutes here. You guys keep your arms nice and straight. You got your camera faced the wrong way. You're filming yourself at this point. You're filming you. Yep. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me make sure you're recording at this point.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Yep, yep. There was a bus rush last night too. I'd say like 4 or 5 nights ago. And that thing was shut up. It was doing great.
I've been wanting to try one of these for a long time.
Well, this is the most accurate. This is actually our ratio of accuracy because it doesn't give us as much. The other two, it's going to give us.
Yours is such a big shot. I feel like I'm staring at a tree.
Oh, this is awesome.
I think it's just capturing the leaves, though.
Yeah. It's just such a wide view.
Yeah.
Does everybody in my group, does anybody mind if I get a group shot of y'all up against this fence? Just share?
Sure.
You okay with me taking a picture of the back of everybody?
That's up to y'all. Like everything's going to be on film anyway.
Oh, okay.
Already done. Sometimes it gets a little funky. Sometimes it's back a little bit. That's really attractive. That thing died as a true ghost experience. Everything gets a brand new rechargeable battery. If it doesn't take a rechargeable battery, it gets tossed. Whether it was used the night before or not. If something may have sat in my bag, we only have 6 people. I want to make sure I still start off with that. It would have been cool. Well, my guess, no. If something drains, I usually get a look over. Are you serious? Like, I'm excited. Right. Because again, everything gets charged over. My charging station at home is I have a whole table and it's all laid out. Plug everything. Landon, anything coming out?
There's one that keeps coming close, like that one.
Teresa came to it.
I just heard course on yours, Drew, just so you know.
Yep.
Keeps showing up right there. Yeah, that's lower.
Sue,
I don't see anything.
raise your right hand for us. You're locked in too, that's
Yeah.
good. Nothing to be moving, there's not even a breeze.
It's before it's just up in the trees, but now she's like right there.
you.
What?
You just move this tree.
Yeah.
I got Teresa.
Oh my god, you scared me.
So is it Teresa?
I don't know who Teresa is, I'll have to look at the
Don't
cemetery
know.
record.
If it's Teresa, can you raise your hand? That's it, Teresa.
Tyler, you got anything going on with yours that you can see?
So it almost appears
I
like
think it's the side
one
of
comes
the
from the very back where the cross is,
other
and then there's
stones.
one
If you look at the
forward.
side of this,
Keep it still.
No, it's just Teresa.
I think it's just the other headstones. Like peeking on the side of this big one.
Right there.
Yep. Well, you haven't moved
No, I'm locked in.
when it came all the way down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a screenshot for you guys for me to handle. Still looking for you to raise your right hand.
Oh,
I
that's
can see
the
you.
truck behind us.
Oh, by the way, does everybody see the light off to the left? I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
The church put that there on purpose to try to create that flare on anybody trying to take pictures over here. But obviously my camera's can see it.
Can you come closer? It might be in there.
Because we talked about a few more, and she's doing police work, doesn't make it easy. Hey, you got anything? I heard the woo-hoo.
That's it.
Even a silhouette it does. The way it's moving. New light.
Landon, you got anything?
That one looks like a different one. Now there's two. There's one in the background and there's one in the foreground.
Another minute. I just want to see if Drew's going to get anything. Guys, you got anything going on? Mo? No. You got MOE though?
Can you come through?
I got nothing. Jeannie, how's our word list looking? Do we have anything going on there?
It did.
I think it's fair to say call it on this one. I'm going to move this down just so I can explain. I can explain what the next location is. It's completely different than what we've been doing as a whole. And I'm going to need a volunteer just because there's so many different parts. So you guys will see how this works.
Yeah, we were.
When we're done, because I will time this, we're only going to be under there for 10 minutes only. Very disorienting if we go any more than that. They're going to tap you on the leg. You take off your own gear. I will never touch either one of you. Okay? You guys have to count on that, I hope. You're going to hear things, even yes, no's is okay in this particular scenario because you don't know what I'm asking. If you hear yes or no, say it. You hear it, say it. That's the whole concept. You're going to be seeing images that are going to be popping up out of here. Just hold the frame. I'm going to put the phone out. You're going to see a galaxy off in the distance. It's going to be moving around. You don't need to look for things in the galaxies just so you don't fall asleep. Every once in a while, a picture will show up in front of the galaxy. Describe the picture. Simple terms. These two can't hear you, but you're going to be talking over them. 3 people, bench, tree. Make it nice and simple. In the event that neither one of them two is talking, I may ask you probing questions, and I'll use your name directly. Jazz, tell me what those 3 people are wearing. You know, those kind of mentality. So, again, blindfold first, then headphones, crank up your spirit boxes. I'll ask a few silly questions to make sure you guys can't hear me, and that's a go. So go ahead and lower your blindfolds and get those spirit boxes cranked up. These guys all have their job, they know what they're doing. And by the way, I'm not telling you guys the story tonight. I'm a jerk like that. You gotta wait for the damn cameras. Have you ever been to virtual reality before? Yes. Okay. This is not going to be a 3D Jurassic Park each
I wonder if we'll see anything behind me.
Again, it's very distant. So it's just a little disorienting at first, but so much empty space.
That was cool. That was freaking
Oh, yeah.
cool.
When you hear clapping, that usually means a cheesy tour. Don't you guys dare clap at the end of this. Did I say that out loud? I sure did. Not a sword. There's ghost up in the camera. Perfect. So I'm going to slide this in there. You do have a focus. Just get in there and it's blurry. There's a focus dial right here, or there's 2 thumb pieces underneath where you can flip it in and out. Okay. What color is a blue banana? Perfect. You can't hear me. Okay, it is 11:11. Henry, Timrod, if you're here, we're looking for something about your occupation. We're going to start off nice and slow, unless you want to change the subject. Henry, can you tell us something about your job? What did you say? Henry, what did you do for a living? Henry? else is here with you, can you please give us their first name? But otherwise, I am going to continue asking you about your occupation and your work.
There is.
Okay. Who else is here with you? Can you give us their first name? Jeannie, you might want to pay attention. Jeannie, pay attention for names on there. Because he said there is somebody here with us. Extra. Other than Henry. Henry, who else came here with you? You can give us an image of that person. I'll probably recognize them. This is Jasmine. She can see whatever you want us to see. Henry.
There's much class.
Henry. This is Kimberly on my left. She can also hear you. Can you give her something to say back to us, please? Nope. Standing directly in front of you. Nobody shuffling. She was right behind me, standing just as still.
21st.
Old.
It's just like a shadow.
Maybe just took a quick step. I mean, you got something in that you can see in there, or is that just something you're hearing?
No, there's a church.
Okay.
Or a building.
How big's that church?
It's
Andy, watch your camera with the
Ransom?
three stories.
Henry?
Get back together.
Yeah, guys, get it back together. Henry? Tell us about the church that we're looking at. Can you tell us what church that is? Because I can't see it yet. Can you identify the church?
No kidding.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like figures, but I
I'm looking for some spirits.
So you should, is it like a goldish color in there?
No, it's black, but there's specks, but there's like you can
Heaven.
see their bodies. There's somebody walking through the specks, blocking the light, but there's multiple bodies. Just great.
Henry? Who else did you bring here with you? You said somebody else was here with you tonight? Can you tell us who that is? I've also asked you to identify the picture, the image of the church. Tell me what church it was.
Information.
Hollywood? Maybe it's no, but it looks like Hollywood. in the
Interesting documentary.
She was getting a little escalated. You said like a Hollywood, like the Hollywood sign? Or
Yeah,
what?
that's what it kind of looks like.
Okay. And again, if it's blurry or you're unsure, you can use that dial. Everybody's different. Henry, nothing is making sense to me just yet. You got to let me know who else is here, and if you're here, you need to let me know what you want to talk about. I
I
asked you
like
about your work.
flashed across here, but I don't know if it was like something else.
Yeah, they don't stay on.
The only thing I got was over here, but I
Get
think
about
it's the
15 to 20
building.
seconds. Henry.
Myself.
Okay, now Henry, can you tell us what you did for a living, please? What did you do for work? Can you show us a picture of some of the tools you had to use? We're running out of time. We've been under 5 minutes already.
Or you?
Henry,
All of which?
I'm listening to him. Henry, do you need me to give you that recognition piece? That's a yes, no question. I can give you some recognition if you'd like.
We have you covered.
Henry, do you need your recognition piece? I can do it.
Abundantly.
Normally when I get stuff like this, sometimes they'll say show me appreciation or recognition. I just read a quick stanza from his work just to kind of give him that little piece to kind of stroke his ego a little bit. It's not like he can't hear me. You know, saying him about to stroke his ego just to get him to talk to us. And there's a nice cool breeze coming from somewhere. Does anybody else feel that?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. Probably some of these window up there. Henry, quick stanza. We know not in the temple of the fates, God has inscribed her doom, and all untroubled in her faith, she waits. Triumph or tomb. There's your recognition. Can you tell us where that came from? What poem is that written from? Also tell me when you wrote it. I know that date as well. I was hoping to learn a pull teeth to get you to come and chat with us. Give us an image or two.
It's crucial.
It's getting better. Any numbers showing up out of the two of you? Drew, any words at all?
No. It's like,
First data here.
yeah, like it's 0.0.
48.3, like right when I passed the statue.
Yeah, that's huge. 48.3. Henry, we're running out of time fast, sir. I'm just asking about your work. If you don't want to talk about your work, you gotta let me know. I try not to write things down in this location so I can focus on all their breathing. But they all seem to be doing fine and we're running out of time anyway. Henry, your work. Pictures, tidbits, breadcrumbs, any sign that you're here at all, we'll take it. Gave you a little bit of recognition piece. What was it?
To hide this new cost of yours.
Scam? Damn, you and that high, man. You keep getting it. I actually looked at it twice just to make sure that the I wasn't a T for Henry Timmer. Henry, anything at all. If you want us to leave, just say the word home. We'll oblige, but I would like to make a deal to try to at least get one more image out of you. And we can wrap it up.
Accident.
Henry, who else is here with you? You didn't have an accident, did you? You died of a disease. Is TB on there by any chance? For tuberculosis? Where's that from? Henry?
HR.
I just didn't feel myself.
Henry, we're going to wrap this up in a minute. Can you at least tell us goodnight out of respect? We showed you some respect. We'll take it back. Henry?
Use the number 1.
Ups and downs.
Henry, can you tell us goodnight? Henry going once. Going twice. Alright, loved ones, let's tap them out. Jazz, go ahead and pull that off your face. Let's kind of see what we got going on in there. Interesting to see how things are going. So, yeah, take the gear off.
It wasn't a church, it was a house.
There's a house.
Yeah. Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and peel off your headphones. None of you get up. I don't need baby giraffes falling on the ground. Because again, sometimes you've been under there in the dark for 10 minutes. But I am going to take a look at the images that we're seeing here. So she got it turned down a little bit. She's probably fine. So I don't feel like we had anything really going on here. Kyle, you can go ahead and stop on your camera as well. You can see what we're looking at, right? It's almost like he's mocking me with my damn beard, right? Alright, so let's take a look at these images that Jazz had. You had 4 total images, so you're definitely right, it's a house. So these don't get very big, so I'll kind of go around the horn so that way we don't have to get too close, it's already warm enough. But obviously that's what it looks like when it's nice and clear and not generating. So did Henry Timrod like live in a house like this? No, we're talking about a poor writer here. So again, this is definitely not something relevant to Timrod himself. It could be Paul Hamilton Haynes' house because they did come from a wealthy family. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. I see where you're looking at the Hollywood sign, but I'm trying to make out like if it actually spells anything. There's no spellings in there whatsoever. It's a bunch of LLLLLL mono is what I see in there. It's kind of the way I look at this. Again, these are artificially intelligent generated. I also run these through Google Lens, just so you guys know. So in case I miss something out of here, the Google Lens will kind of give me a time era of wherever that came from, or if there's something else next to it. This looks like a compass. Did you see a compass in there? So it looks like it generated something where you missed it. It probably just flickered real fast and made a quick, you know. But it also looks like there's a book there to the left. So very interesting piece. I'll have to see if there's any symbolism in there that actually means anything relevant to Henry. What do you got going on? 9 fast boy. Little boy was on there because we could have asked about his son. And then last but not least, we have this bearded guy with this crazy fisherman's hat growing sunflowers. No idea what the hell that's supposed to mean. It's crazy symbolism if I ever saw one. But yeah, that beard is kind of crazy, doesn't it? If you had some beads, you look just like me with a fisherman's hat on. So kind of an interesting piece. I don't know what this little, like there is definitely a red, what is that? Like that's definitely, was it a cozy? Poppy?
Yeah.
So again, sometimes I miss things in here, and all of these images will be in your report. So here, by the way, how do you guys feel by the way? You guys feel okay? Yeah, what?
Not a book, but like something opening.
Something's on. Right. And you kind of felt like there were people standing in front of you.
Yeah, they kept shuffling back and forth.
None of us were moving.
Okay. Good something. Opening gift, and then they asked me what that was. It's disappointing that you didn't give a look.
That was a gift, a picture. A picture. It's supposed to be you.
Yeah, I'm going to put a picture of me with this crazy setup that you guys are looking at tonight. You see the comparison. So if you guys are feeling okay, I'm going to have you get up so I can set my bag down, and I'm going to open it up so you guys can all set your gear down while I stop the voice recording. So if you're feeling okay, let's kind of get you up a little bit, so get you up and get that blood pumping a little bit. I'll take the wrappers, by the way, from your blindfolds. Just keep blindfolded.
Why is this recording?